My new canoe is here. Hi, Jeff. I'm here with Jeff from H2O. He's in my backyard. He brought me a canoe. I'm going to switch over the camera so he can tell you about it. It is the same one that I used last year, but it's great to have the owner of the company here to actually talk about the canoe and tell you guys all about it. So I'm going to switch over the camera to him.
Here I am in McTier.
Woo!
It's a nice day, Saturday in May. We've brought Solo 14.6. So Christina's used to this boat. She used it last year. This one's different in appearance, obviously. We've got gray instead of the silver and Negra basalt. It's still our Epoxy Pro Series canoe. It's really light. It's under 30 pounds. We've made sure it's got a detachable solo yoke. So this is going to make it convenient to use. It's got a foot brace, so once that's set up in a spot that's comfortable, that'll be real handy for a nicer paddling position. And the other option on this boat, just for interest's sake, is it's an all Kevlar canoe, epoxy, and it has the green woven color optional exterior. So it should take nice pictures out amongst the rocks and things. So.
I think it might, and I think it's almost Camper Christina green, if I'm correct.
This is our closest to the Camper Christina logo that we could get with one of our colors. So.
That's awesome. Now I remember at the outdoor show, you had told me that when you add color to the boats, it adds weight.
It does add a little bit of weight, but being such a small boat and you know, it's so pretty that I think you can do a push-up or two and, you know, it's only an extra pound or two.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am super excited to be paddling this for the first bit of the season, and I guess we're going to be interchanging boats throughout the summer, hopefully, and hopefully we can get out soon. So thank you so much for bringing this. I am so truly grateful, and I cannot wait to get out on a trip in it. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Enjoy it. And yeah, I think you'll put it through the paces nicely, and we'll all find out more about it as it goes.
If anybody wants to know more about these boats, you can contact Jeff directly. I will put his information in a link below, and then you can, you know, get a hold of him and talk about different features or a different size of boat. They also make tandem canoes. They make lots of really great canoes at H2O. So thanks, Jeff.
Yep, that's great. Thanks a lot, Christina.
Bye. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I cannot wait to paddle this canoe. Now what I'm going to do for the rest of the video is I'm going to show you guys what I do to make this canoe much easier for me to handle when I'm out there tripping. I'm going to set up a few things. I'm going to show you how I set up the foot bar, how I attach some bungee cording, some very simple things to have a place for my water bottle, my selfie stick, so it's easier for me to film while I'm out on the water without having to use my hands, and how I set up the canoe to make it really easy for me to portage it. A lot of people have asked me to show them what I do with the canoe, so hopefully this might give you an idea of something that might work for you. First thing I need to do is set the foot bar. So I've just done that. It's a very simple procedure. It just has a wing nut on the back, and just take the screw out and slide it along until it's somewhere where you're comfortable. I really love the foot bar. It's really a great feature for me because I am trained in kayaking specifically. And because I am paddling a solo boat, I feel like the foot bar just connects me to the canoe. Like it really helps with the stability and security, and it really makes me feel comfortable. So I like to set it pretty much like the foot pegs in my kayak, and basically you do that by just relaxing your legs and letting them kind of fall naturally to the side a little bit. Usually your thighs in a kayak are against the thigh braces. Now they're not obviously against anything here, but just that same type of way of sitting. and I think where it is right here is good. So I'm going to put the wing nuts on and set that up, and then I'm going to set up some bungees that I have here to get my tripod selfie stick set up, because what I do is I attach it right to the bar here and slide it in, and then I can stand it up while I'm paddling, and I can film without using my hands, which is great. So first I'll set these bars, and then I will get this all set up. I just noticed too, while I was checking out the foot bar and stuff, that there's a really cool pattern in this canoe. The floor, as you can see, has this like yellow patch. I'm assuming that's like a little thicker and stronger to, you know, for the bottom of the boat to give support. And then the sides have these checkered, like a checkered pattern, and it's really cool looking. You can see it a little better here with the sun on the other side. So I think it's going to be really neat seeing it in the water, reflecting, having the sun reflect off the water, and I'm really excited to see how it looks when I'm paddling it. Alright, so I've got that bungee on, and I've made it tight on the bar here so that it's kind of snug, and it can be moved over, and then I can just get the tripod part in and out of that fairly easily. I do it really quickly when I'm getting in the boat after portaging, and then I just kind of stick it there, and then I tighten them like this, and that kind of sits against. I mean, it's not, you know, perfectly secure, but when you're paddling on calm water and mirror, which I like to do, and you know, because I leave really early in the morning a lot of times, that's the conditions that I'm in, which is perfect for filming. This is great, so it can just sit there, and if I do go through some crazy stuff, then I just basically put it down like this, and that hooks into that, and that keeps it secure in case, you know, the water gets rough or I don't, or whatever. Alright, so there's the bottom one, and the top one, and then that's nice and secure. Doesn't look that high up actually in the video here, but it's up pretty good. It gets a little bit of the front of the canoe, and then, you know, whatever's out there. Actually, I can put it right in there. There you go. Alright, so something else that I really like to have, that I had on the other canoe that was great, was this bungee that I put here, from here to the seat, and it's just a bungee tied tight. It's nothing special, and basically what that's for is for my water bottle. I hate when you've got your water bottle in the canoe and it's just rolling around while you're paddling, and then you hit waves and it's rolling back and forth on the floor, and it's so noisy. I always have a carabiner on my water bottle, and as soon as I get in the boat, I clip my water bottle right to this rope. It doesn't necessarily always stand up, although it does most of the time, but that's not really the point. It just stays there, and it doesn't matter if it, you know, is on the floor or standing up or what, but whenever I need my water and I'm paddling, I reach back and it's right here, and I can just grab the carabiner very easily, unclip it, and then drink my water, and then clip it right back to there. So it's always just I don't know, I just like it to keep my water bottle there, and make sure that I know where it is at all times, and it's easily accessible, and it's not like rolled down to the other end of the canoe or up at the front of the canoe and I can't reach it. So just makes it convenient. It's kind of like a cup holder in a car. Alright, so the last thing that I like to do and to have is for when I'm portaging. When I do portage, basically what I do is I take the blade apart, and then I put it here right to the yoke. And then what that does is it actually gives me an additional shoulder rest on the yoke. You know, yokes are cut out like a U, but then I don't really have, like, I don't know, the right back or the right neck, or I'm not really sure, but it's hard for me to use just a normal yoke. So when I put the paddle across here, that rests on my shoulders, and it just gives my body so much more support with the canoe. Like now it's not just resting on the back of my neck and kind of my shoulders, but it's actually resting on the back of my neck and my shoulders, and it works really great for me. All right, so there are the two loops for the paddle. I probably could have made them a little tighter. I did leave some extra bungee cord here in case I want to adjust them or I need to adjust them. I'm just kind of putting them in quick. But basically the blade goes at this end, and then I just slide the end without the blade through here and then into the yoke, which I will do next. So this is the yoke that I have been using, that I was using with the Lite 14.6 that I had last year. So basically it's got 2 blocks of wood on the end. I'll show you how it works, because you know, maybe you don't have one of these, but you have one of these and you want to make something like this. So this is just an old yoke out of a canoe that was, you know, trashed. It had a hole in it, and I just pulled the yoke out of it. So there's 2 blocks of wood on either end. And basically what I would do is, as soon as I got to the portage, I would lay this on top of the canoe, slide it, hit it a couple of times to get it nice and tight, and then it's right by the seat too, which is pretty much the middle of the boat almost, and that was perfect. Now it's got a bungee here and a bungee here, and then I have another loose bungee, and then I'll take it out. I have another little loose bungee that just sits inside of that, in that loop, and it just stays there. That's for my pillow. I did some long crazy portages, and I get really uncomfortable portaging, and I figure if I'm going to portage this canoe like a K or 2K or whatever, I know that's not a big deal for some people, but you know, I'm getting up there in age, I think, in my opinion, and I can use all the help I can get when I'm out there, and especially when I'm doing some crazy steep hills and stuff like that, and walking through swamps and stuff. So this just helps me to be super comfortable while I'm carrying the canoe, and it makes it easier for me. That's just what I like to do. You don't have to do it, but it helps me a lot. So here's the removable yoke that I got from Jeff, and from H2O. When I say Jeff, I mean H2O. And it's got some fancy little knobs and turny things there. But basically, it's probably going to do about the same thing. I'm going to have it adjusted for, you know, the certain area that I want it. And then I'll just slide it down and tighten it. So what I need to do is figure out how I can put these 2 loopy things in this. And I'm already looking at it, and I've already got a couple of ideas going in my head, so that's good. I'm obviously not going to drill a hole in this because it's a brand new yoke and it's not mine, but I'll figure out a way. Okay. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. Just gonna see if it's centered before I continue. I don't usually pick it up from this side, so my wrist is kind of messed. Oh, right there tells me it's a little bit too far back. Depending on where I put it up on my shoulders. That's where it should be sitting, and that's front heavy, so. Not sure if you could hear me there, but basically I was saying it's a little bit too far back because it's front heavy. So I'm going to move it up a little bit and try it again. So this can take a while to kind of figure it out, but once you get it set, it's perfect, and you don't have to do it ever again. All right, come on, buddy. I think that's pretty good. It's really close. So I think I'll leave it there. Now I just have to figure out how to get this paddle in here. What I think I'm going to do is run a bungee from here right to here, and then just put it all the way around. It should be good. And then I can put a little loop here for the paddle to go into. I'm going to try that. Alright, get a nice good tight knot in here so it doesn't go anywhere. Those who don't know knots tie lots. I'm that person. Actually, if I put a bungee right around the back of the yoke here, that'll actually keep that out of the way of the neckline too. So I only need this much. Let's cut a little over just in case. Nice and tight. Play a song with this. Okay, so bungee goes from here to here, tightened underneath there, and then I've got this one here. So now I'm just going to put a loop here and a loop here, and that should keep the bottom of the paddles in. Okay, done and done. Okay, so here's what I rigged up. I've got the line from here to here, as I showed you before, so that's tied in on either end. And then what I did was I tied a loop, but I made it so I can slide it either way. And it just kind of gets stuck on that bungee. Doesn't actually, you know, it's not loose, it's tight, and I think that it will work really well. And then underneath is that other bungee, and that just hangs there. When I take off the yoke, when I'm paddling, I just throw it in the front of the canoe or the back of the canoe, depending on what I'm doing, and that just hangs there, and it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there, which is terrific. So I'm going to put the camera back up, and I will set it up with the paddles and see how it works. All right, so this is basically how it should work. I get to the portage, pull my paddle apart, slide that in there, slide it in there. Take this one, make sure that both edges down because I don't want that in my shoulder. That also helps keep the bungee in. Okay, the paddles are there. Now I can see right away that they need to be moved over just a little bit, but that's good. Basically how it is, not too bad. I think I'm going to tighten this one a little bit. It's a work in progress right now. Pillow, super comfy cozy. Grab the bungee from underneath, pull it around. Again, usually this goes smoother, but I haven't had practice in a while, so bear with me. And this one comes around here. Now, I always try to make sure that these little bungee pieces are way underneath because otherwise they get tangled in my hair, and then I go to take the canoe off. And my hair is tangled into the bungees, which is not very comfortable. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm just going to grab the camera and I'll move it up, and then I'll pick it up and we'll see if it's nice and centered. Okay, so there it is there. There it is there. Pillow's all nice, comfy, cozy, and I'm ready to go. Moment of truth. Pick it up. Oh yeah, that feels good. There you have it. Not that I do portage without my hands, but if I wanted to, I could. Usually what I do when I carry is I put my, I don't know if you can see, but I put my hands here on the paddle, and that gives me some extra support too, and it helps me steer the boat a little bit around. But usually I just put one hand at a time, I rest the other one, and kind of alternate. And that's how I carry my canoe. Obviously not something everybody's gonna do, but I've showed this to a few people and they really seem to like it. So I thought, why not make a video and show you how I do it. I put the canoe down, I've arrived at the other side of the portage. Basically just bend over the canoe here, grab bungee 1, grab bungee 2, Take my little neck pillow, I usually stick it right there in the seat. Pull out the paddle, pull out the other paddle, other side of the paddle, pop that sucker together. Obviously push the button in and put it together right, but I'm showing you guys. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to get some electrical tape and just put a stick on either side of where the yoke goes, and that way I'm not marking up the boat and I know exactly where to put it every time. I don't have to sit and fiddle with it and test it back and forth, and that should work great. Probably take me a couple of times to get used to it and get quick at it, but it's not a super long process, and you know, you have to do something with the paddle anyways, and you have to carry it. So I think this system for me anyways works great. A bunch of people had asked me about it last year and the year before, so I had some pictures and stuff that I showed them, but I thought it would be great to do a video and just kind of helps give people ideas. But you know, me being not super fit and doing some challenging portages, doing a lot of soloing, sometimes I do 6 portages in a day, and this makes it really easy for me to carry the canoe without any issue. And you know, it sits on my shoulders, it sits on my neck, and I don't get super sore. I've got this lovely comfy pillow, and I also can use this at camp, and it just works out really great for me. So hopefully it helps you too. It may not, but hopefully you like the video, and you leave a comment and you subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much for watching my video. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.